Hello and welcome. I am always excited to be back here with everyone. So we are both on Zoom and on Facebook Live. So I will see if I can drop things in the Facebook chat also, little more complex, but anyway, we'll see what I can do today, how well I can multitask. But here we are, boy. Feels like the end of April. It is, it's getting pretty close. And I am excited to move into May. It is, again, time. We have so many different things going on, energetically in the world, astrologically. It is complicated. So if people are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling exhausted, there are really a lot of energetic reasons for that. And we will see what the record keepers want to work on specifically, but a lot of times they like to take their cues from you. So why don't we take just 1 minute, and if you have something kind of specific but general that we can work on as a group, right? We're doing group healing. So, it's not a question about your soul contract with your partner. It's about relationships or something a little bit more general, if you can go that route, right? If that makes sense. So just type in a couple of things that are showing up for you that we can do some work on for everyone. And then let's bring us all into the Akashic Records. I always like to start with a little group healing and energy clearing for everyone. So let's just sit back and take a nice deep breath and drop down into our high heart, which is up here by the thymus, and your fourth chakra heart. And I like to picture them both opening and expanding as we're creating a beautiful sacred heart energy. Really getting out of our head center and into our heart center. And let's invite our soul to come down more fully present into our physical bodies, helping us to get nice and grounded and centered so that we can do this expansive work today. I often see moving out of my head almost like a little ball in the center of your head, and it drops down your throat channel right down into your heart center. And so I'm just literally picturing all of that energy in my head, all that thought and chatter dropping into my heart and moving into a place of peace and quiet. We ask the divine lords of unconditional love to help us center fully in this moment as we create this sacred space. Please wrap us in your love and protection and allow us to travel to the highest realms of the Akash available to us today. Please help us relay our multi-dimensional hearts open to divine love and release all resistance. Lords of the Akashic Record, please guide us to the deepest truth we can access now. Support us in healing and releasing that which no longer serves on our true path. And we give great thanks for our divine love and support on this journey today. And as you feel this beautiful column of Akashic energy and light swirling around you, know that you are held in pure source, unconditional love, and that your Akashic record keepers are here helping you to clear, release, delete that which no longer serves, that which no longer is helpful and supportive on your true path. And so you might take a moment to thank your personal record keepers quietly, silently, for their love and their support and their guidance that they give you. Whether you hear it or not, there is guidance often coming to us from our record keepers. And they are here with us today in this beautiful expanded column of light all around the world. I know there's people all over the planet here. And so we will jump in. Just, if you can, kind of keep your feet on the ground with the intention to stay grounded. The record keepers teach a tripod grounding system, and that would be, imagine growing some nice roots from the bottom of your 2 feet deep down into the earth, and let those roots grow and spread. So it creates a root system. It's probably 4 or 5 feet around you. And then the tripod is the third leg, is a grounding cord from the base of your spine. I imagine it kind of wide, almost as wide as our hips, going deep into Gaia. Again, deep down to the core of the earth. If you can picture that, I like to wrap it like a flexible tail around the core of the earth. And our dear Mother Earth helps us to keep us grounded. She's here to assist us also. And so I am going to read through some of the things that have been typed into the Zoom chat, and then I'll see if I can look at the Facebook Live chat also. But while I'm reading, let me post, if you love this work, if you love the healings, if you love the tools, like I love to teach you how to call back your energy, to get into your body, to use your tripod grounding system, how to expand your sacred heart. All these are tools that the Akashic Record Keepers have given us. And I am doing a workshop called 4 Keys to Deepen Your Intuition. So it's a beginner's workshop, really. It's not really for people who have already taken my Akashic Record class. This is more beginning tools. And it's going to be 2 half days. And if you're interested, I put that link in the chat box on Zoom. And oh, good. And it looks like I can do that on Facebook too. Yay. Hello, hello, Facebook friends. So let me just read there for a second. There's a bunch of hello. Okay, family issues. And you guys can now, if you're especially new to the Akashic work, to me, that this 2 short day workshop is very powerful and beneficial for you. More advanced students, I'd say not so much. I know a lot of you love to show up and get the healing and follow me, and I so appreciate that. And of course, you are welcome to come to the 2-day workshop too. I have signed up. Lovely. Thank you, Claire. Okay. I have an avocado tree growing through my office, so I put my bare feet on the tree to ground. Oh, I love it. I am in Belize, looking at my backyard in the Caribbean Sea. Well, I just might be coming down to visit you, Carol. Thank you. That sounds exactly like my kind of perfect world. Ocean, greenery, lovely. I have never been to Belize. I'll have to give that a try one day. Okay, so we have some family issues. I'd love to work on things that hold me back, like negative imprinting and programming. Absolutely love to work on that fear that is holding us back. Remove and release blocks to stop us from being our highest beautiful source connection. Yes, let's do some work around that. How can we know why our bodies get sick? Are there usually soul issues? You know, in a very general sort of answer page, I'm going to say that yes, often what the record keepers say happens is that through our life, especially that first 10 or 20 years of our life, and even that first 5 years, the emotional pain, the trauma, the challenges that we have really no control over, especially under 5 or under 10, really, a lot of that energy will get stuck in our body, and the body kind of takes that in dis-ease and creates a variety of different kinds of illnesses around a lot of stuck emotional pain and trauma. That's why I often talk about, and that's why I do so much healing, is because those early traumas can show up in our lifetime as any sort of illness. I mean, sometimes it triggers us to have accidents to kind of wake up and do some healing for ourselves. Sometimes it will turn into different kinds of chronic fatigue, chronic illnesses. Sometimes it can go so far as to be our body will create something around that might be as extreme as a cancer or another sort of chronic sort of illness. And so when we learn, to me, these are the great gifts of being able to work in your own Akashic records, is that it's a process that we can work on clearing a lot of that emotional pain and trauma in layers for ourselves. And we can also be asking our record keepers every day, highest and best food? Is this doctor in alignment with my soul work and my healing? Is this healer in alignment with my healing and my, say, soul work, my Akashic records? So instead of guessing our way through our life, we can get clarity for our answers. And that to me is the great power of the Akashic records, is having an ongoing conversation with your Akashic record keepers, because we all have our very own personal Akashic record keepers who are here in support just to you. Your record keepers are here for you. So you can ask them every single day. You're not bothering them. They're not archangels. They're not working with everybody on the planet. Your record keepers are yours. And so you can say, you know, what about this? What about this layer? Can we work on that subject or that trauma? And that's a lot of what I teach in my Akashic self-mastery program and workshop, which of course, again, I'm going to talk a ton about in my 4 keys to deepen your intuition. So I am going to post that one more time there so you can check that out. I will post it again towards the end, but right now, let's start with yeah, let's just start. I mean, so much of what ends up happening in our lives, our blocks are caused by emotional pain and trauma. Our physical illnesses are often caused by emotional pain and trauma. You know, I did a TEDx. I'll have to, I will post that also, I think. So you guys can go watch my TEDx on emotional pain. And I will share that with you also, and we will dive into the healing. But let me just do this quickly before I forget. That link, I Okay. I am going to put also, let me do that. This is, I'm going to make sure I have my assistant here so I can do this for me. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. Well, let me do this. Funny. Hold on. Bear with me here. Too many links. Okay. Emotional Trauma Revisited. That's my TED Talk. I'd love to have you watch it. Watch it to the end. When you watch things to the end, when you like them, when you comment, they get more views, they get to go more viral. So all of you who are listening today, I would love to have you jump in and watch it, watch the whole thing. It's all 13 minutes, right? And then I love comments, likes, shares, please. That's lovely. Thank you so much. Okay. So I'm just asking the record keepers how they want to start to work with the emotional pain and trauma. And, interesting, what they want to start with is divorce. And what I have seen so many times is that when our parents, and right, at least 50, and probably now it's even more extreme, 50% of people get divorced. It wasn't that high when I was a kid, but still, it was a huge trauma because back then, 60 years ago, it was more rare and it wasn't really sanctioned by the world, right? So that, it was traumatizing because people thought there was something wrong with our family. Often it would be the father who would leave and maybe never show up again, because once they left, once they made that choice, to get divorced, or if it was the woman, a lot of times people lost their mother. It was scandalous. And so if the mother left, oh my gosh, that was extra scandalous. What was wrong with that woman? And they never came back, or not for, 10 years or a long time. Same thing, right? With the men, often they had to go off. They fell in love with someone else. They married them. They had another family. You never saw them again. And so let's do clearing around that, because what that did was it triggered a lot of abandonment and a lot of different layers, but self-worth issues, abandonment issues, low self-esteem, fear, often struggle around money, finances, right? So all of a sudden, maybe the mom is, and I've worked with so many clients over the years where that has been a lot of the trauma story. Mom was a single mom with 3 kids or 6 kids, and she was trying to work and raise 6 children, and they were super poor. Or some of the kids got raised by a grandparent or given away, or, different, pretty extreme trauma, especially for a small child, 1 year old, 2 years old. Right, totally different subject. So Carol was just saying, I'm getting divorced after 31 years at 70. And no, once the best is yet to come. I wonder what is in store for me. Yeah. And again, so these are kind of the extremes of divorce. So many people have childhood trauma from a bad divorce with their parents. And I also see so many people in their later life who have been married for 20, 30 plus years who have gone separate ways, and their soul contract is complete, with their partner, with their spouse, and they're going on to really start, for them, often what's a very spiritual life, because we are raising into this beautiful spiritual energy also. But the record keepers want to work on the emotional pain from our childhood. So self-doubt and fear of getting hurt caused me to self-sabotage relationships that I don't know where it comes from or how to fix it. Yeah, so Kat, I mean, this is a lot of this kind of thing, self-doubt and fear. It may have come from a childhood divorce in your family, but a lot of times it also comes from levels and layers of, emotional abuse, parents who are not nice, alcoholic parents, parents who have mental health issues, parents who are sometimes teachers who traumatize us. I grew up in a neighborhood that was had a couple of Catholic schools, actually big Catholic university. I grew up on Loyola in Chicago, big famous Catholic university. But some of the Catholic schools, elementary schools, the nuns were not always so nice to the children, right? They could traumatize you by hitting your hands with rulers and making you stand in corners with dunce hats. And that kind of stuff is trauma. Often we think, I had a good life. I went to a good Catholic school. What's this problem? But it created trauma. And so, so that is actually what I'm working on, is actually what the record keepers do, is kind of move us all back into our childhood, whether that was 40 years ago or 60 years ago or whatever it was, right? Remember, I said, your record keepers are with you. And so that's always important to know, that your record keepers are kind of part of this huge collective of Akashic beings of light who are all working with us all. Okay, so I have to stop reading over there because that just gets more confusing. But I'm just going to focus on the fear, often of just, being raised in a family with maybe one parent who was working way too hard just to support everybody. And however that sits with you, just know that whatever that version is for you, your record keepers are taking care of that, because you may have grown up with both parents, but maybe one was a workaholic and wasn't home very much, or was just not very present, or, was not there with us. And so however that shows up, you might have had two parents, but only one of them was actually kind of consciously there, or neither of them was consciously there. And sometimes we get raised by our older siblings if we were lucky, or by ourselves. We ended up kind of raising ourselves. All of those levels really create a level of fear, because being a small child in control of your life, like I had, my kids had friends whose, parents either had to go to work really early because it was a single mom, and they were leaving at 6 and telling the kid, don't forget to make lunch and get to school on time, right? So the 8-year-old was raising themselves in a lot of ways, right? So it could be something like that, where people are just doing the best they can, but really to be a small child in control of your life is terrifying. And so we're not conscious of it, but that fear ends up wrapping itself through our whole lifetime. And then we wonder, right? Like someone was saying, I don't know what that fear is, but, I self-sabotage, fear. We don't want to step out too far into the world because, we don't know what might happen. So all of those aspects, just working on clearing, keep breathing. I always like to suggest that people have a nice glass of water, maybe a cup of warm tea, wherever you are. It's still darn chilly here, even in California. You can see I'm wearing my sweater, so I'm freezing. But just letting it go through breath. If you want to close your eyes, please do. Just knowing that your record keepers are with you, assisting you. So a lot of this is about really just kind of unnamed fear is really what they're saying. So that's a lot of what we're working on, is that kind of unnamed fear. And then we're going to work on the subsequent feelings of unworthiness. Right. And you know, a lot of it was subsequent from the fear, etc. But it also, you know, parents or teachers making you feel stupid. I actually had that experience because I couldn't read out loud very well when I was in second grade. And it made me feel really stupid. Oh, you have to tutor. You have to sit in the middle of the hallway where everybody can see you being tutored, and everybody in the school knows you're stupid because you're being tutored. I was like, wow. Thank God my mother put her foot down in a minute for that. She's like, you're not doing that to my daughter. So, thank heavens, my mother was a teacher herself and was very conscious, but still, I felt stupid because I couldn't read out loud very well. And it was actually because of a brain trauma. I had hit my head as a 3-year-old and it caused a concussion, right? So we have so many layers of garbage. Oh my gosh, being human is such a challenge, isn't it? So we're just clearing any and all of that that's coming up to be released. You know, in a lot of ways, I always just know and feel, and the record keepers tell us that just being in this energy, this is the reason I open the group records and bring us all into this lovely column of light together. Just being in this Akashic quantum field of unconditional love, of source, of the Akash, is a healing in its own right. So a lot of the way the record keepers work is it'll just come through. I'll be reading, I'll be talking about it. I'll focus on some of this. They're focusing on a lot of it, right? There's no time and space for the record keeper. So not linear over there. So. Well, right. I was just reading a lots of clearing going on. Right. I was just reading about abandonment issues started around 3 weeks old because a nurse was hired when I was born to help out. I bonded with her and then she left. And she left, right? And then that was like your nurse was like your mom. What do you know as a newborn? And then when she came back 2 years later, it was for your new sister, right? So I created relationships where I'm not good enough or lovable, feeling like, right, I'm not good enough, because when she came back, it wasn't for you, it was for your sister, which is, I mean, to an adult, that makes perfect sense. I need help. I'm a night nurse. I need help with, I need a night nurse to help with the baby or the 2 kids or the 3 kids, right? But as a small child, we don't get it. Oh. Right. I live with my mom, but feel emotionally and spiritually abandoned and want to leave. I'm sorry. Yeah. And a lot of that abandonment is that bigger level of abandonment where we feel like God has abandoned us, or our maybe our starseed family has abandoned us. That's a big one that people are really starting to feel, or a lot of us have felt our whole life, right? When I was 3 and I was like, I want to go back. I don't want to be here. I feel like, who dumped me in this body? What the heck was I thinking, right? I used to have a girlfriend who used to joke. She said, I must have been drunk when I wrote that soul contract to come back into a body, or, high on whatever we were high on when we're not embodied. But I don't think it really works that way, but it's kind of funny when you're human. But a lot of us feel that way, that we've been abandoned by God. And so let's do some focus, because we've been doing a lot of, abandoned by a parent, and then the consequent feeling of being unloved. Right. Right. You don't have to know about your starseed family or anything else. I mean, I don't know. I just thought I was crazy that I came back in a body. Mine was a little bit less about abandonment and more about what the heck was I thinking, and why am I here, and why did I want to come back? But then when my 2 best friends died, then I got the whole abandonment thing in my teenage years, when my best friends died when I was 13 and 19. And then I felt abandoned by my soul sisters, by my soul family that was here. Like, I was lucky enough to have a soul family, and they left me. So it doesn't matter. We're ancient souls, and we carry a lot of this information. We carry a lot of these wounds from our childhood, but certainly from other lifetimes. And you know what the record keepers are really wanting to remind us? A lot of it is because we do write a soul plan before we embody, but then we have amnesia, right? So here we are. We have no idea we have a soul plan. We have no idea what it is. And so, we're just confused, right? We often feel just confused because our plan is not clear. So again, my answer to that is, please learn to read your own Akashic records. The record keepers asked me all those many years ago now. They said, please bring this wisdom back to humanity. It is time for everyone to access their own soul guidance. This is really time for us to be able to do that. And so that is my mission in life, right? So I definitely, feel that again, it is time. I've got the 2-day workshop coming up to deepen into learning more about this information for yourself. All of this, is really so important for us all to step into our power, to gain back our clarity, to understand who we really are as ancient and wise souls, to step into your gifts and talents, right? So join me in my 2-day masterclass. If you haven't taken the Akashic workshop yet, that's really more about what I'm talking about. But yeah, so just, I'm going to do a bunch more work. There was something that grabbed my attention and I wanted to work on. I feel that I'm carrying other people's emotional pain in my body. It's being expressed as physical pain. And that is so often very true, because we are empaths, because we feel other people's pain. Even, some of us feel it really empathically. We're really clairsentient. We feel it literally as pain and emotions, and we're confused because we don't know if it's ours or someone else's. So it's a whole big piece that I will definitely work on in this 4 Keys to Deepen Your Intuition, the 2-day masterclass, because it is so important. And the record keepers teach clearing prayers. I think I'll just pull it out and we'll do it together to move other people out of our energy field. If you don't have From Questioning to Knowing 73 Prayers to Transform Your Life with my forward from Jack Canfield, lovely, lovely man, it's available on Amazon. As you can see, I use it. I'm like, okay, some days that's not helpful. I can't even, I can't find the prayers I'm looking for, but really learning, okay, clear other people, clear, here we are. So we're going to do a couple prayers to clear other people from our energy field, because it's so important to own your own physical body and your auric field, your energy field. It's important, more important even than ever before energetically, to be the sovereign of your body. Okay. Please assist us in clearing and releasing all outside energies that are in your body, aura, and energy field. Please send them back to the person from whom they came, or send them back to divine source to be recycled for the highest good of all. You are filled with your purest energy and highest vibration that you can now hold. And just letting ourselves fill with the beautiful golden energy. And we're going to do entities and energy patterns, because there's a lot of dark energies that are just really riled up and kind of fighting to hang on. Oh, sure. And let me take a moment. I'm going to do that. And then I will put the book. I'll actually put a link to it in Amazon in the chat in a minute, but we're going to do the prayer to clear entities and energy patterns. I'm going to read it in the first person, so just feel it in the first person, okay? I call upon Archangel Michael and his legions alongside the Akashic beings of light and divine source. Please surround me with your light and your love. Keep me protected and safe as I order the release and clearing of all energies, interferences, thoughts, feelings, patterns, programming, and imprinting across all time and space, in all dimensions and levels, and all places and planes that are not in alignment with my highest and best Akashic blueprint. You are to leave my body, mind, and energy field now and forever. Please remove and recycle this energy for the highest good of all. And so it is. Blessed be. Good. So I am going to pop in some of these links. Hopefully they'll work into the chats for my books. You might have to copy them. It doesn't look like they're live, but you could copy and paste them. And so link to my website, to the infinite wisdom of the Akashic Records, to From Questioning to Knowing 73 Healing Prayers to Transform Your Life. That's the book I'm using, is the last one, From Questioning to Knowing, with the 73 healing prayers. Okay, so let me scroll through and see if we can do just a little more before we end today. Time flies by. Thank you. Thanks, Barbara. Oh, nice. I can feel the release and shifting. And then at the end of the call, before we end, we will make sure we fill up with our highest Akashic energy, because that is so important. Oh, good question. What is the difference between getting guidance from source? well, so the question is source, ascended masters, spiritual guides, etc., and the records. So you have a soul library that is infinite because you are an infinite soul. So that library is held in the Akashic field, and we call it the Akashic record, but yours is yours alone. Mine is mine alone. I've got my library. You've got your library. I've got my librarians. You've got your librarians, right? My librarians, the beings of light that are here to assist me, are in service to me only, and they work in my infinite Akashic record, answering my questions. Angels, ascended masters, they're out there randomly trying to help everybody, and they do not have, often the information they're giving us is more general because it's more for humanity than specifically for you. Your Akashic records are very specific. Source, again, most people can't reach that vibration to actually get any clear guidance from source. I do know some people who do that, but it's rare. And it's phenomenal if you can. But really spirit guides, often spirit guides are beings who have crossed over. They're not that much more advanced than you are. They're just not in a body, so they get a bigger picture. But again, they're rarely in service just to us. So I used to work with healing guides and masters back before I could access the Akashic records, and they were very helpful to strengthen my healing gifts and to guide me with healing. But once I could access the Akashic records, I have kind of that tenfold, because I can go connect to the 20 past lives in which I was a healer, and they're my past lives in which I was a healer. So it's a little different. Hopefully that answers your question and is helpful. And again, really in the 4 keys to deepen your intuition 2 half-day masterclass coming up in May, I will, really have 8 hours to dive deep into, 4 hours on Thursday and 4 hours on Friday. I will have that time to really dive deeply into a lot of this information for people. So definitely join me there if you're interested in going much deeper into all this type of information, because I've been doing this sort of work for 35 years and have tons of information, and only some of it can you do in a 45-minute, kind of free call on Facebook and Zoom. So I love you all and love to get here. And thank you, Fatima. And so let's do a little bit more. You tested is a live link. What did I give you, Jane? I'm not sure what that means, Jane. Okay, so I want to finish up. It feels like a lot of the work that's been coming through today is about clearing our low self-esteem, clearing our fear and our self-doubt, so that we can move forward and create the life that we've come to create. And so let's do a little more work around that topic. We did a little clearing also. Oh, okay, sorry. Yes, you could collect the book link. Good, thank you. All right. Just all, I want to do one kind of big blast of clearing around low self-esteem, where we feel stupid, we feel not good enough, we feel like we're not capable enough to do what we've come to do. And I know that so many of us feel those sorts of things. And it's not true. You're infinite, you're ancient, you are wise beyond, oh my God, beyond belief. And again, this is one of the experiences that you get when you can open your own Akashic records and ask for these different lifetimes in which you were a wise woman or a wise man, a shaman, a spiritual teacher, a mystic, a monk, all of these lifetimes we've actually had, when you can feel that and bring that into your body, it is transformational. It quelches your doubts that you're not good enough, that you're not capable enough. Because we are. Sometimes it's a process. Sometimes it takes a while. But we really are capable. We are so ancient. You are so wise. And every single one of you that is here today or listening to the replay, every single one of you has come to help humanity awaken, to help people around you raise your vibrations and shift. You are truly here to help all of these other hundreds of thousands of light workers. It's going to take millions of us to move the planet into the fifth dimension, to move humanity into a state of greater consciousness. And so I am grateful to each and every one of you for showing up. I feel so blessed to see so many of you here today doing your work. When you do this healing work with me, it is rippling out to your community, to the people around you. As you raise your vibration, that higher vibration touches everyone you touch. Even if you're just in a grocery store and saying hello to the person who's ringing up your order. Your energy vibration, the beautiful love that you are, is rippling out and is helping them to match the higher vibration. We are magnetic beings and we love to match other people's energy. So if someone has a higher energy around us, we unconsciously usually are stepping up to match that energy. So when we're in the records together, you're all stepping up to raise your vibration, to match and to meet mine, to move into the records, to be more divinely guided, to clear and release that no longer serves you. And so I always feel so blessed to be able to do these calls and to share this energy, because I know it is rippling out to, there may be 100 of you with me today, but that means it's rippling out tenfold and tenfold and tenfold. And so I am so grateful for the love that you are and the light and the energy that you are sharing with those around you. And so I will do, I think we'll do one more of these lives before the 2-day masterclass. But that link is in the chat if you want to join me for 2 4-hour days and just, go much, much deeper. And really get to hang out and be in this beautiful vibration. And we'll do quite a bit of healing. I will teach tools. I will share a lot of ancient wisdom that I have learned over the last 35 or 40 years. Literally, I started studying probably 50 years ago. Holy moly. And so I love to share a lot of the ancient wisdom and gifts and tools that I have learned over the last 50 years. So I look forward to seeing you all there. So we ask the record keepers now to fill each and every one of you with your highest personal Akashic wisdom, energy, and light that you can now hold after the healing that we have done today. Just filling ourselves with that beautiful high vibrational Akashic wisdom, energy, and light. You see yourself as this beautiful golden ball of energy. With that, I say thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now.